Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Infinite Crypto Cruisers. Hey there, folks. My name is Brad Varnell. This is the Infinite Crypto YouTube channel. It is Monday morning, July 15th. Can you believe it, guys? Halfway through the month of July already. My son sitting over here to the right of me is going to be turning 18 in 4 days. Can't believe it. 18 years old here in 4 days. I'm turning 51 in 15 days. My birthday is July 30th. We got all sorts of fun stuff coming up. Going to be leaving for Bitcoin, Tennessee on July 24th. Looking forward to being out in Tennessee for a week. Going to go to the Bitcoin conference the 25th, 6th, and 7th. And then we're going to be just having some fun out in Nashville, Tennessee for the next 3 or 4 days. Celebrate my birthday out there in Tennessee and then come back home towards the end of the month. So hopefully all of you are doing fantastic. Want to say give a big shout out to all of you that are here watching this morning. Appreciate you being here. Eric Bernstein, thank you. It seems like you are usually number one, the first person in the chat. And Deadwood, good morning, Deadwood. Yeah, man, crypto has been exciting lately, hasn't it, folks? You know, Monday morning, a lot of times we talk about mindset and, more like inspirational stuff and, feed the mind. But this is a cryptocurrency channel, and today is an exciting day in a lot of ways for cryptocurrency. We're going to do something a little bit different today. I've got a few different things on my mind. We're going to jump around a little bit. But thank you so much for being here, Deadwood. Thank you for everything that you contribute in the Discord group, man. You are a very, very valuable part of this community and very much appreciated. Thank you. We got Dave P. Good morning, y'all. How you doing, Dave? Hope you're having a fantastic day. And Tim G, good afternoon. Hope you're doing fantastic, Tim. And yeah, man, everything looks good here. We got good sound. I tried to add something on my end, and it caused my countdown timer to die on me. So that's one of the reasons that I started a couple minutes early. It worked out pretty good, though. I was pretty much ready to go. Had a couple of things on my mind. But man, what are we going to talk about today? Oh yeah, exactly 2.5 years older than you to the T. Nice. So I don't want to get canceled today, but man, there's a lot on my mind. A lot of times hey there, what's going on? Huh? This is Rocky. Rocky always seems like she decides this is not necessarily a super common thing for her to do, but it seems like whenever I'm on camera is when she really decides she wants to be around and jumping up into my lap and stuff. But so bear with me today, folks. My mind is in a lot of different directions, and I'm really trying to, learn a principle in life myself. The one where they say, don't care what anybody else thinks. And I got to admit that I'm definitely not all the way in that camp as far as I would like to be. There's a couple other influencers out there that I really admire. And, of course, I resonate with their messages. So maybe that's why I admire them. And I like the fact that they really go all out. But there's a guy out there named Andy Elliott. If you know of him, you may or may not like him. He's very polarizing. A lot of people love him. A lot of people hate him. He gets a lot of hate on his social media. There's a lot of things that I really love about the guy, and I respect the fact that he just don't care if you love him or hate him. He really just goes out and does what he believes is right. And, another gentleman, Brad Lee, is very similar, really has some controversial content, some controversial points of view. On this show, I try to be a little bit more vanilla a lot of times, mostly because I would hate for somebody that's watching this channel to hear me talk about, my political beliefs or something along the lines that really, in a way, doesn't matter, and have them leave the channel and not create financial freedom, not, really go after the dreams and stuff in their life, just because we, had a little bit of a difference of opinion when it comes to politics and that type of stuff. And, part of the reason that I feel like that, folks, is I'll be, fully transparent. Like, I don't care. Well, I do care. I care a lot about this upcoming election, and I have some very, very opinionated beliefs. But at the same time, as far as my personal success goes, my ability to create wealth and my ability to have a fantastic life is always placed 100% squarely right on my shoulders. So as far as, I don't care who gets elected, I'm going to have a good life. I'm going to go out and create financial freedom in crypto. It doesn't matter who wins. But at the same time, while I want to take that personal responsibility, and I really don't believe that who wins matters in a lot of our lives if we do things right, at the same time, there's a lot of things going on in this world that I believe are super important to the majority. And I believe very much, very, 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 very much that there's this race, this presidential race is huge. It's important, especially to the middle class, to the hardworking, core people of this country. And it's unfortunate to me that most of those people that it affects the most are the ones that are brainwashed the most into believing that one side of this political party is better for them, when to me it's just so absolutely very clear that we've got one side that is, looking to destroy this country, that is looking to take us into socialism, and that is looking to make the people dependent upon the government and want to basically take the freedom that we have had here in America now for, 250 years and wipe it out. And it's hard to talk about, though, because those people will very much believe that they are on the right side of this thing, and there's no convincing them that there isn't, and when it really comes down to it, I'm the same way. I've got some really good friends and family members, people that I love, people that I know personally are good people, that are such staunch supporters of the other side, the side that I'm not supporting. And, let's just get it out there. You guys already know, like, I'm pretty sure if I asked you guys to put in the chat, who do you think I support? Like, who do you think I want to win this election? In fact, just for the fun of it, let's do it. Who do you think I would like to win this election? If I had to choose between Biden and Donald Trump, who do you think, after listening to me for the last couple of years or however long you've been listening to me for, who do you think I'm rooting for in this election? I'm kind of curious to see, not who you're rooting for, but who do you think I'm rooting for? Let's see how many of you guys have any idea, like, if you guys know me at all. I don't know how many people are actually watching. Maybe you guys are shy. You don't want to talk about it, but I mean, it is what it is. I very much believe that Trump is the answer. So there it is. I just put it right out there for all of you people that love Joe Biden. This channel may or may not be for you. I will tell you this, once again, I don't really, if Joe Biden gets reelected somehow, I'm going to still be okay. But in my heart of hearts, whatever you believe about Donald Trump as a person morally, there's no doubt in my mind, it's very, very hard to deny the results that he got. from 16 to 20 was one of the best economic periods in time in our country in a long time. And then in my opinion, I know I'm getting myself out on a limb here, but the whole flu stuff was ridiculous. I never wore a mask. I hated masks. I was never scared of the flu virus. I went out and I lived my life. Being here in Vegas, we got shut down, we got locked down, we had all sorts of, crazy things happening to us that I believe was 100%, directly related to Biden and his administration. And yeah, I've got some people that were affected in my life by COVID, but just about, like 99% of the people, me and all of my family had COVID. My wife had COVID twice. Everybody that I know that had COVID walked right through it like it was nothing for the most part. And I just think that it was totally unbelievably ridiculous, what happened with our country during COVID. So once again, I've never really come out and stated my opinions, and I just kind of felt like it was time. I believe that the Democrats, that Joe Biden and that administration, I believe that they want to take us into socialism, and if we let them, they'd be happy to have us as a communist country, folks. And I just can't stand for that. So whether you like Donald Trump or not, Donald Trump stands for freedom. And the thing that I love about Donald Trump is he doesn't need to run for president. In my opinion, he doesn't need to run for president. He's not doing this for an ego trip. He's literally the only person out there. Don't get me wrong. I like Robert F. Kennedy too, but and I think RFK would be a great president. I just don't think that he's got the support. If RFK was the candidate that was going to be our possibility of getting elected and replacing Biden, I would 100% vote for him. But in my opinion, Trump has all of the money that he ever needs. He's 78 years old. He's got every reason in the world not to run for president. After the way that the last election, the way that went, I'm still in the camp that something fishy was going on. So yes, I'm a conspiracy theorist. I believe that he got robbed of the last election. I don't believe that everything was on the up and up and everything was on board with that election. I honestly don't. It's hard for me to believe that half of the country or more voted for Joe Biden. It really is hard for me to believe that. Although one of the reasons I'm talking about this today is because after the assassination attempt, was it Saturday that the assassination attempt happened? I think it was Saturday, yes. Right? Yeah. After Saturday, I'm in my Facebook feed, and I'm seeing people in my Facebook feed that are talking about how they wish the bullet was just an inch to the right. And they wish that they would have taken Trump out, that they would have been so happy if Trump wasn't, like one person said, I never wish anybody to die, but I wish the bullet would have just incapacitated Trump enough to where he couldn't run. And the crazy thing is I'm looking at this Facebook post and I'm thinking, it's got a couple hundred comments. I'm thinking that there's going to be, mostly a couple hundred people that are talking about how crazy that opinion is. Yet I got on there and I started reading the comments, and 75% of the comments were like, yeah, what a great post, and I'm with you. And it was unbelievable to me how many people really hate Trump and despise him enough to where they would like to see the Biden administration get into office. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy to me, folks. And so, part of this channel is to hopefully help people wake up to the reality of where we're at in life. I very much believe that most politicians are not for us. So I'm with you that in general, most of the politicians out there are not really, they don't care about the American public. They don't care about our quality of life. They just want to make themselves rich and they want to make themselves, better. But at the same time, there's definitely still some people out there that care about our freedom, that care about our way of life, that, in my opinion, don't want to create a socialistic, country, a communist country. And so, for a long time now, folks, America has been one of the unhealthiest countries in the world. We don't rank super high up when it comes to, like schooling and intelligence. You've got other countries that they say are, much, much smarter than us in general. Although I don't care if you know what 47 times 142 is off the top of your head. That kind of skill doesn't really translate into a lot of things in life that are important. But, the fact of the matter is, I really like a guy named Andy Frisella that basically, his point of view on it, and I believe it, is, most of the politicians, they want us fat, they want us lazy, they want us broke, they want us controllable. And most of the things that is happening in this world, our school system, everything is designed to pump out robots. It's designed to pump out employees. It's designed to pump out people that don't think for themselves. And it's amazing to me how much of the country wants to be taken care of. Like, to me, if you gave me, okay, here, on one hand, we're going to go ahead and pay for everything for you. You don't got to have a job anymore. We're just going to, we're going to pay for your food. We're going to pay for this. We're going to pay for that. But you don't have, your freedom anymore. But you're going to live comfortable. You're not going to be rich. You're not going to be able to go out there and strive for your dreams. You're not going to be able to, you're just going to have, some security. And on the other hand, they tell me, hey, we're not going to give you anything. You got to earn every single thing that you're ever going to have in life. If you starve to death, you starve to death. Like, if you can't take on the world and be successful enough to buy your own food, then you just starve to death, man. I am on the camp. I want to give me freedom, give me liberty, give me the ability to go after what I want to go after. And if I can't make it and I starve to death, that's on me. I mean, it's a harsh reality. We're not animals. I understand that. I hear this argument all the time when I start going on a rant. People are, hey, man, we're not animals. We're not, we're not out in the Serengeti. It's not survival of the fittest. We're above that. And I agree to a certain extent. We are above that. And we should help those that need help. I'm a huge believer and a huge proponent of giving people a hand and helping to try to lift people up and give them a better opportunity in life. But I'm also 100% for, if you're going to be lazy and you're going to sit around and lay on your mama's couch until you're 35 years old, man, I'm all for you getting kicked out. And you know what? If you starve to death, if you, like, health insurance is another big issue. People are like, man, health insurance should be free. Why? Why should health insurance be free? Doctors go and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars and 10 or 12 years of their life to go become doctors so that they can hopefully provide some sort of medical care for those of us. Why should it not be a free market? Now, don't get me wrong. I hate hospitals. I don't like going to the doctors. I'm definitely huge on the fact that a lot of doctors and the pharmaceutical companies, they don't want to cure us. They just want to keep us, they just want to keep us perpetually on drugs and stuff like that. That's something that I get frustrated with when it comes to the medical community. Don't get me wrong. Just like anything, there's some incredible doctors out there. There's a lot of incredible people, but there's really, I've experienced a lot of doctors in my life and my wife's life and my children's life over the last few years. And it's unbelievable to me how many times we go in and all they do, they never offer a solution. They just offer medication and drugs that for the most part you have to be on, perpetually. So anyways, I'm probably getting off the beaten path, but my point is, folks, what happened over the weekend was almost a tragedy. I very much believe that that there was some divine intervention there, and thank God, Donald Trump lived. Whether he becomes a president or not, what a horrible way to go out. What a horrible thing for his wife and his children and his loved ones. I've got a son over here that's 18 years old, and I don't know exactly how old Donald Trump's son is, but I know he's on the younger side. I think he's a young man, 12, 13 years old. But imagine, you wake up one day with your dad right there with you, having fun and looking forward to enjoying life, and then in just a split second, it's taken away from you, by somebody that's just an extremist. And so I am very, very happy whether Donald Trump gets reelected, becomes, the next president of the United States or not, that he's alive, at least for the moment. I don't necessarily believe that this is going to be the last time that they try to take him out. I very much believe that the powers that be are scared to death of him getting reelected. And anyways, enough about the presidential election. But the thing that Donald Trump did, and the reason that I think it's important, is because I think it is going to bring, people together to a certain extent. And I think that the people that are on the other side of the fence from me are starting to come around. Not all of them, but I think there's more and more people that are starting to realize how they've been lied to and brainwashed over the last, 8 years. And it really started, 30, 40, 50 years ago, I believe, that they started putting things into motion and started heading in this direction. Like the frog in boiling water. If you throw a frog into boiling water, it'll jump out. It just immediately will jump out. It hits that water and it'll jump out because it's way too hot. But if you put a frog in lukewarm water, it gets relaxed and it starts enjoying life and it feels good. And then you just slowly turn up the heat. And before you know it, the frog is boiling and it's ready for you to have, frog legs. And I think that that's very much what has happened in America over the last 50 years. They've had us in a pot of warm water now for a long time. And they're finally getting to that point where they're cranking the heat up the rest of the way to boil us and to eat their frog legs. And so what are we going to do about it, folks? Well, let's get into the solution. So no matter what you believe, who you want to be president, financial freedom gives you the ability to withstand whatever's going on. The fact of the matter is the wealthy and the elite are always going to have the ability to have freedom in their life, doesn't matter who ends up being in charge. And so it's so important right now, folks, if you are in that middle class or even, teetering on the poorer side of life right now, the number one thing that you can do to give yourself the ability to make it through whatever storms are coming, no matter who gets elected, folks, is to create some distance between yourself and zero when it comes to finances. The more money you have, the more freedom and the more choices that you are going to have. There are going to be families that get wiped out over the next 5 or 10 years with everything that's coming. And there's definitely the ability for you to insulate your family and keep yourself from being a statistic. So let's run over here to CoinGecko and talk a little bit about crypto. I know that this is Monday Mindset, but let's talk a little bit about crypto today. So I think I've got that pulled up and showing properly. If we go to CoinMarketCap, refresh that screen there. We've got Bitcoin here. Look at this, folks. Last 7 days, it kind of snuck up on us with everything that's going on. Bitcoin is up, 13%, over 5% in just the last 24 hours. Back up solid, 63,000. I was listening to crypto lifer Sam Price the other day. He was talking about how we needed to regain, we had to break through 61,900 and something. So basically 62,000. And it looks like we've done that. And this goes in line. I can't tell you exactly why I believe that July and August were going to be good months, in crypto. but it's starting to take off. It's starting to do, good things. So I applaud those of you that had the courage, or that had the finances and also had the courage over the last couple of months to take advantage of some of these amazing prices that we had in crypto. I know that Deadwood and I, started buying Aerodrome when it was down in the 40s and the 50s, and now it's all the way back up. I forget, was it 80 cents? I think it was 80 cents that I saw Aerodrome was back at. So I'm excited about that. I have a gentleman from church, a really good friend of mine, a guy that I love a lot, that finally jumped into crypto right about a week ago. Look at that. It's even up. It was 80 cents just a few minutes ago when I was looking at it. Now it's all the way up to 84 cents. But this gentleman, his first crypto purchase was Aerodrome, and his second was ICP. And he got into Aerodrome at about 60 cents. So here it is all the way up to 84 cents. So he's made, 35%, 40% on his money in about a week. And, same thing, ICP, I want to say, was down around $7. Let's see if we can, before I click over there, let's look at this real fast. Price. Yeah, so we look at the price for the last week, the 7-day range, it was 54 cents. Now 84 cents. So it's been a nice run for my buddy that bought Aerodrome. But look at that, from 54 cents to 84 cents. It just can happen so quick. What's half of 54? 27. And if you add 27 to 54, 64, 74, 81. Yeah. So right now, Aerodrome is up over 50% in the last 7 days. And then ICP, another token that we've been talking about a little bit on this channel, up 10 point, over 10.6% today. And then look at it, look up to $9.59. But look at this weekly chart here. In the last 7 days, it's up from $6.78 to $9.40. So that's very close. That's closing in on a 50% gain, probably closer to about 40% right now. So what's my point? My point is, folks, is just keep doing what you're doing. I know that all of you that are watching this channel are people that believe in the future of cryptocurrency, that are investing, and that are taking the risk, what a lot of people think is risky, and buying into, this crazy cryptocurrency. But folks, right now is absolutely the time where you can really get in and make fortunes on some of these tokens that we have, been talking about for the last several months. So, one of the, I think here, I want to go over here to the chat. I noticed that the chat has been a little bit, there ain't too many people in the chat. Hopefully I didn't get too many people unfollowing me and unsubscribing for the channel. But I think trade school should be available to the poor, city or rural. Poor is poor, opportunities, not handouts. And yeah, man, I really believe, Deadwood, in the old philosophy of, teach a man to fish versus giving him a fish. And so that's a great point. And I appreciate you, coming into the chat and talking about that. So, I don't know exactly where to go from here, folks. I just want to remind you all that, no matter what happens, no matter who gets elected, the more that we take responsibility for our own situation, one of the huge differences between successful people and unsuccessful people is successful people take responsibility and unsuccessful people place blame. And a lot of times, successful people will take responsibility even when something happened that wasn't their fault, because we realize that we maintain control. The more responsibility you accept, the more control you keep over your life, the more you place blame, and the less responsibility you take, then the more susceptible you are to being, held captive by other people and what they do. You have to, get to a point in this life where you got to realize that a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times, the situations that we're in life, the tough spots that we're in life, are normally a direct result of a lot of the bad choices that we have made. And as human beings, we definitely make our fair share of bad decisions. So, we all have done it. We've all made tons of bad decisions in our life. But, most of the time, it's not our boss's fault or our spouse's fault or our parents' fault or anybody's fault that we are right where we are. And I kind of go back to that story, real fast, where, these two twin brothers were raised in a family where their father was abusive and he was an alcoholic, and they had just a horrible childhood. And when they got to be adults, one of them ended up in prison for the rest of his life, and one of them ended up being a very successful businessman with a beautiful wife and an amazing, family. And this journalist decided to go and interview them both. And so this journalist went and interviewed both of these brothers. And towards the end of the interview, one of the questions that he asked was, why do you feel like you ended up where you ended up here in life? And they both made the same comment. They both said, hey, if you had a father like me, you would have ended up here too. And the moral of the story is, folks, is we have a choice. And that's a real situation. I mean, I see it in a lot of people's lives. I know a family where there was several, I think it's 6 or 7 different children that had a really rough upbringing. And out of those kids, there's a couple, 2 or 3 that really, ended up going down the wrong path. And there's a couple, 2 or 3 that really headed in the opposite direction and created amazing lives for it. So even though the story that I just told is just that, it's a parable more so than a true story, although it could be a true story too. I have no factual reference to say for sure that it's a true story, but I know that the moral of the story is true, folks, that you got to take whatever has happened to you, good or bad in life. And, the old saying that life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we react to it, how we deal with it. And, it just is what it is. I have an incredible, I've got a situation right now that we just went through that shows this too. We have a very good friend that unfortunately just succumbed to cancer. This young man was, in his 50s, had, beautiful family, amazing kids, and he beat cancer once and it came back, and he was so positive, he was so uplifting, he was so inspiring, and he was determined to beat it again. And he fought and he fought and he fought. But, unfortunately, it was just his time. God wanted him up in heaven. But the way that he lived his life and the way that he shone the light of Jesus Christ for that last 3 or 4 months when he was in and out of hospitals, and then towards the end, there comes kind of a point where you realize what is happening and that there is no fighting it other than, some kind of divine intervention, some incredible miracle. That this gentleman is probably, a couple of weeks from going and being in heaven and spending eternity, in heaven. And the way that him and his family came together and their belief in God, the power that they showed, the bliss and the joy, the smile that he had on his face for those last couple of weeks, even though he knew what was coming, was just amazing, folks. And it just goes to show you that even when you're laying there knowing that you're going to die, you have a choice. He could have chose to be bitter and upset and mad at God and frustrated and unhappy for those last couple of weeks. Instead, he was so happy that he got to spend the time that he did get to spend on this earth with his kids, that he got to set the example for them, that he got to go out of this world on his own terms. He got to go out with a smile on his face and shining the light of Jesus Christ for all to see. That's an extreme situation. Most of us hopefully are not going through something that, dramatic. But folks, there's a lot of people that maybe got their paycheck yesterday or are going to get, it's the 15th, they're going to get their paycheck today. And it ain't enough. You don't have enough money to cover everything that you need to cover in life, folks. It's an opportunity for you to be thankful and grateful for what you do have, though, and to be trusting and believe that better days are coming. And there's a power in being grateful, no matter what your circumstances are, being joyful, being blissful, being happy, irregardless of the circumstances in life. Don't let the circumstances of your life dictate your happiness, folks. And so with that, I know that it wasn't a real, Monday mindset motivation today, but I just want to, just give a shout out. I think that the events that transpired over the weekend are going to help us. I think that crypto, one of the reasons that crypto had this massive turnaround is because of what happened on Saturday. I very, very much believe that Donald Trump and his whole party is very, very much behind, very much behind crypto. In fact, Donald Trump was supposed to be out and do a speech at Bitcoin, Tennessee. All of a sudden I got some hiccups. Donald Trump was supposed to go to Bitcoin, Tennessee next week, or, on the 25th, 6th, and 7th. And that's weird. I don't think I've ever had hiccups all of a sudden right in the middle of a live stream. If I'm doing like a static recording, I can turn off the camera or take a break. My editor be able to edit it out. But, man, when you're live, it just is what it is. But I haven't heard if he's going or not now under these current circumstances. I hope that he still goes. That would be fantastic. But anyways, I believe that part of the reason that we've seen this amazing turnaround is we were due to see it anyways, but I think that a lot of the country realizes how much Donald Trump supports Bitcoin and crypto, and the fact that a lot of the country very much believes now that he is going to win the election. I think that the numbers and everything is showing that, there's a huge amount of the population, even the ones that don't want him to win, that hate what happened on Saturday because they believe that it's going to help him to win in a landslide. And I believe that that is very, very possible. And I think that might be, if you want to go into divine intervention and, and wonder about why things happen, I think that, if God wants Donald Trump to be president, then, he might have allowed this assassination attempt to happen, because he knows that assassination attempt could be what rallies the country around. And Donald Trump could win in such a huge landslide that the other side can't steal the election from him, that the other side can't manipulate things this time. Because in my opinion, if it was close, just like last, in 2020, we all went to sleep thinking Donald Trump, we were going to wake up and Donald Trump was going to be our president. And between 10, 11 o'clock at night, and when we woke up in the morning, things had totally switched, and somehow, Biden had won. So in my opinion, I think that Trump needs to win in a landslide, because if it's close at all, the powers that be are going to figure out a way to, to keep him out of office. So once again, I'm a huge proponent of everything is happening for us, not to us. And as horrible as that situation is, and I'm sure that Donald Trump is not excited that somebody tried to take his life, at the same time, he probably realizes at this point what a huge blessing it is in the grand scheme of things. And for his ability to get reelected, that assassination attempt could be what really puts him over the top and helps him to, win this election in a landslide. I guess we will find out here in about 4 or 5 months. In the meantime, let's just keep on keeping on doing what we're doing. Keep on buying the right cryptos, keep investing, keep believing that here in the next 6-9 months, there's going to be incredible wealth flowing into our lives. And I look forward to creating financial freedom with each and every one of you, and look forward to, having some fun and enjoying some life, no matter who ends up becoming our president. Those of us that stuck to the plan, that stuck to this vision that we've had and know where crypto's going and have done the right things to accumulate the crypto and be in a good position, we're going to have the financial freedom to weather whatever storm is coming, to be able to enjoy life. And so with that, folks, thank you for spending the last 45 minutes here with me. I do want to say, as I'm going out, I love each and every one of you. And no matter what your political beliefs are, the cool thing about America is that it's the land of the free. It's the land of the free. We all have the freedom to believe and to feel however we want to feel. And I'm the last person in the world to want to take that away from you. I believe that if I want to have the freedom to feel and believe and think what I want to feel, believe, and think, that 100% I got to support your right to feel, believe, and think what you want to. And so I love you. I hope I didn't take anybody and turn you from a Infinite Crypto, channel lover to a hater. But if I did, I did. It just is what it is. But I just want to, say as I get ready to end this stream, that I really do love each and every one of you. I'm praying for you guys. I'm hoping that things are going well for you. And I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday when we go through and talk about some more microcap gems. We had an incredible stream last Wednesday. And a couple of the tokens that got talked about last Wednesday ended up getting into our inner circle gem Discord, our private Discord group. A couple of the tokens ended up in there. So folks, I did some research on a couple of those projects and was really excited about what I saw. So if you're in the inner circle and haven't, take a look at the write-ups that we did on those tokens, and then get ready to just have an amazing Wednesday where we go over some more tokens. So with that, have a fantastic rest of your Monday. God bless, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Take care.